Today we are going to talk about a classic two-player game, Jaipur. This game is on almost all lists of good two-player board games. The game was originally published in 2009 by Space Cowboys. This is a publisher that I don't have any other games by in our current collection, but they have published quite a few games that are on my wish list, such as Tea for Two and Splendor. In Jaipur, you and your opponent are competing merchants trying to earn the seal of excellence to be known as the best trader, and thus getting an invite to a high court. This is a fast-paced game for two players that is all about card drafting and selling. The total playtime is about 30 minutes, but can vary if you end up needing to play a third round. Let's get into the setup of this game. For such a small box game, it requires a fair amount of setup. First, you have to set up the tokens, which requires you to sort by type, then organize them in descending order. And it was a small disappointment for me when straight out of the box, brand new, the tokens did not already come sorted. But on the plus side, you didn't have to punch out the tokens out of a cardboard sheet. Once you have the tokens in descending order, you have to organize them on the table with the more common goods on the bottom and the more valuable goods at the top, with the bonus tokens in the middle. The bonus tokens are then sorted by bonus, 3, 4, or 5, and shuffled. When you're done setting up the tokens, the hard part is pretty much over. Now you need to pull out 3 camel cards, shuffle the rest of the deck, and deal each player 5 cards. Once that player receives their 5 cards, they'll put any camel cards they were dealt on the table in front of them to create their fleet of camels. Now, you will fill the market section with 2 additional cards that are drawn from the deck and adding the 3 camel cards you kept out, making a total of 5. Once you've done that, you're pretty well good to go. And you'll get very comfortable with the setup process as you have to go through these steps between every round.
Gameplay is very simple. On your turn, you have 2 choices: to get resources or trade at the market. If you choose to get more resources, you can either pick up 1 card from the market and then replace it from the draw pile, or if you want more than 1 card, you can take 2 to 5 cards and replace the ones you took with resources from your hand or camel cards from your herd. Your herd is placed in front of you, or a combination of both. Additionally, you can collect all the camel cards by taking them from the market area and placing them in your herd, and drawing from the draw pile to replace those cards, making sure there are only 5 cards. One thing to note is you can only have 7 cards in your hand at a time. We missed this part during the instructions initially. It is at the bottom of a page in very small font.
If you choose not to gather goods or camels, the other option is to sell or trade. Trading is how you earn points to ultimately show you are the superior trader. Common goods like leather, spice, and cloth can be traded in any amount. You can trade just 1 or up to the 7 you could have in your hand. You do get bonuses for trading in sets of 3, 4, or 5. If you trade 6 or 7, you still only get the bonus for 5, but that makes it a wise choice to save your resources for a little bit before making a sale. More valuable goods include silver, gold, and diamonds are required to be sold in sets of 2 or more. So you could sell 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7. And you still do get bonuses when you trade those in sets of 3, 4, or 5. To make a trade, you will show your opponent that you do in fact have the number of goods you are trading, and then add those to the discard pile. Next, you'll take the top tokens for the good supply matching the number of goods you sold. For example, if I were to trade 4 green spice cards, I would take the first 4 spice tokens and then a 4 set bonus token. You can only make 1 sale per turn, so if I traded spice on my turn, I could not then also go sell some gold. I would need to wait until my next turn. That is the bulk of the play, and this will continue until one of 2 conditions are met to end the round. First, if 3 resources are depleted, meaning there are no tokens left of that resource, the round ends. This is often how our rounds end, and we frequently use it to end the round before our opponents can make one last trade. The other possible condition to end a round is that the draw deck runs completely out. When the end of the round is triggered, first look to see who has the most camels and give them the camel token worth an additional 5 points. Then each player counts their points. The player with the most points, or in this game rupees, is the winner of that round and will get a seal of excellence. Now it's time to go through setup again and reset for round 2. The goal is to get 2 seals of excellence, so you will either play 2 or 3 rounds, just like the first one.
Once you've determined the superior trader for the day, it is time to put the game away. We resort the tokens by good type, then the rest of the put away is easy. It all fits into the box with ease. There are 2 troughs on the side of the box where the good tokens go, then there's plenty of room for the cards in the middle. Don't forget the instructions and the game is all put away. I would rate this game 4 out of 5 dice. Starting around is always fun when you get to see how your hand is laid out, and if you don't get a good starting hand, there's no reason to worry since the game moves so quickly. It is very easy to switch out multiple cards from your hand for any of the cards out on the field, and camels are not too hard to come by either. It is easy to turn the game around, making for some fun scenarios. It does seem to favor those who pick up resources first, so picking up 2 or 3 tokens from multiple different resources right off the bat will bring you a lot in return. Once you figure this out, it does make the game's objective a little more clear, but obviously grabbing the rest of the diamonds will net you more points, so don't rely on the early game too much. Overall, it is a fun but repetitive game and has made it close to the top of my personal recommendations.
Overall, I would rate this game a 3 out of 5 dice. I enjoy the game, but I find it rather repetitive. And I find that if you know your opponent and their playstyle well, it's easy to predict what they're going to do, thus knocking this game a little further down on my personal playlist. The randomness of drawing cards does help because you can't control what cards will get flipped. I do enjoy how quick the game is, as sometimes we're just looking for something quick before we tackle some other projects we have going on. However, the setup does feel like a little too much for me when I evaluate the amount of gameplay we get out of it. I am excited to check out other games by this publisher because the quality of the game is nice and everything fits easily into the box. And you can tell storage of the game was thought about. And that's a big win in my book. Overall, I'm glad it's in our collection, but I would generally reach for other games first.
In the end, we rate Jaipur 7 out of 10. It is a quick game designed just for 2, making it a good pick for date night. We wish it felt a little less repetitive, something hard to do. It made our list of good 2-player games. We highly recommend you check this game out as well. Please leave a comment letting us know what your favorite 2-player games are. If you enjoyed the video, give us a like, and if you want to see more board game reviews like this one, please subscribe.